joined right now by my friend, political commentator, author, radio host. He does it all. Armstrong Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, sir.
Oh, why am I only invited on your show when there's ever an issue of race?
Wait a minute. I've told Chad to get you numerous times. So let's gang up on Chad.
Oh, yeah,
anyway, no, we don't have to talk about race. We could talk about wherever you want. But, you know, and welcome. I'm thrilled to have you on. I always am. You know that. This trial, first of all, started today in a cockamamie manner with, I don't know what the defense was doing. First of all, I keep hearing from the CNN commentators, the women, that the prosecutor who gave the opening statement is so good looking. And the women on the jury couldn't take their eyes off of him. And then the stupid defense attorney, who was not Mark O'Mara, he was Don West, says, knock, knock, who's there? George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman who? Okay, you're on the jury. What the heck was that?
Tell us.
I don't know. That's what he did. That was his opening statement. That's the first thing he said. Instead of saying, you know, this don't believe what you just heard, we're going to show otherwise. That was an icebreaker, and nobody laughed. Everybody felt uncomfortable from what I'm hearing. I have no idea, but let's talk about race. You know, when the judge said last week that the prosecution cannot use the term racially profile, they cannot say Zimmerman racially profiled Trayvon Martin, but they could say profiled. To me, Al Sharpton and the media has made it interchangeable. Profiling, even though it's good police work, and we all do it, everything we do almost, they're going to think, if they say profile, they're going to think racially profile, whether they say it or not. Am I right?
That's interesting. You know, you can profile behavior patterns. I think it all depends on how the defense, because the defense could use that to their advantage. I think most people want to get away from stereotyping what criminals are and non-criminals are. And I think when you get into behavior, I think you get people to think beyond race and think more about the behavior and the actions and what's transpired. I also think that the jury, given their selection, is going to have a very tough time finding him guilty of murder. It may be manslaughter. It may even be self-defense. It all depends. I mean, there are a lot of wounds, and then also there are the texts where the mother had put this boy, Trayvon Martin, out because of his whatever issues he had. It shows that he was a problem kid. So, you know, all this plays into it. Let me tell you, it's not a slam dunk for the prosecution. I don't care how good he looks.
Well, I hope it's not a slam dunk because, you know, the bottom line is all this, he got out of the car, he followed him, he was told not to, he said blanking, these guys always get away with it. Okay, but he
didn't know the race of the person. He didn't know the race.
Right, he never said he was, well, he did. When asked, he did say, I think he's black. I think that's what he said. I think he's black. But it has nothing to do with race, but we are along the lines, if you read the polls, just like with the OJ case, Armstrong, blacks want this guy to fry, and whites don't, and it was the opposite, you know, with OJ. So we can't get away from race in this country.
You know, unfortunately, Steve, we're not going to get away from it, and that's just the price that we pay. But unfortunately, we have hopefully a jury of his peers that can look at the evidence, and there's clearly a double standard. They didn't care about the evidence when it was involved with O.J. Simpson. They just wanted a brother to get off. They wanted him to get one up on the man who they felt always got off, and the brother just got hung with the verdict. And they didn't care. But yet it's a whole different standard with George Zimmerman, and it's basically because of race, unfortunately, in the history of this country.
Yeah, we're talking to Armstrong Williams here on the Steve Malzberg Show. He's not even white, George Zimmerman. He's Hispanic.
Not as saying he's Jewish.
Is he Jewish?
That's what they're saying. Okay,
so he's a Jewish Hispanic. So I guess that makes him, in the eyes of some, that makes him even worse. But I hope in the end that, you know, I hear all kinds of dire predictions that if he, and I don't even know if they could convict him of manslaughter because they went for the second degree. I think that was a controversial thing to go for, and I think if they don't convict him of that, they got to say not guilty. But that aside, if he's not convicted, if he's found not guilty, what do you think the reaction will be in this country?
That's why we have law enforcement.
I know that, but what do you think the reaction will be?
They'll accept it just like they accepted O.J. Simpson not guilty. Why should there be a different reaction? Did you see anybody out in the street protesting and burning down buildings?
No, but
so
no.
We can expect the same.
Well, nobody. No, I'm not saying they'll be burning down buildings, but I'm just saying we did see in the aftermath of nothing organized, but we did see in the aftermath of the Zimmerman Trayvon Martin shooting incidents, especially in Florida, that I could point to, where some black kids attacked some white guys and murdered two of them and said this is for Trayvon, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying or asking you, do you think that if there's a not guilty verdict, there'll be isolated incidents or, marches, organized, peaceful marches by Sharpton and Jack? I'm just asking you what you think will happen.
Listen, I think that the leadership will be advised to calm down their constituency and prepare them for the worst outcome, okay? And they sort of have that control over the masses in their communities, okay? So hopefully they'll show leadership. And given the high-pitched rhetoric and favor once given towards O.J. Simpson, can we at least, as O.J. gives Zimmerman the benefit of the doubt and assume he is innocent until proven guilty? You may even consider cheering for Zimmerman's acquittal, as was with the case of O.J. Simpson during his highly publicized trial.
Yeah, no, that would be nice. Listen, next week you're coming back, and we'll talk to Chad. Will talk to you in advance, and you pick a topic. And I want it to have nothing to do with race. I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
The topic today should have been about race, but it should have been about the Supreme Court and Texas and the admissions.
Yeah, we could have talked about affirmative action, and Clarence Thomas wrote a great, even though he was with the majority, he wrote his own opinion, and it was a brilliant, brilliant opinion, and he just as soon had voted, to abolish the whole affirmative action, and that was wonderful. You want to come back tomorrow and talk about that?
For you, I would.
All right,
yes.
Tomorrow.
Ask me to.
Yes. I got to go. I'm up against a hard break. That's why.
Okay, good.
Tomorrow
right.
We'll talk about that. That's what we should talk about, and
Okay,
Clarence.